into mobile stuff than the web one. So, but we did the web application first, and the mobile one is like we are still developing it, which contains all the details and which gives a summary and notifications about all the stocks that they sell in their shop, and with the use of appropriate technology. So this last part was completely done by my undergraduate students, and I must appreciate that because they are so good in their IT, not like me. And the objectives of this study was to keep all the information confidential, because this type of information is confidential, as you can understand. And so they did the second part, studying the appropriate technologies for a system to develop, like what are the good technologies and available technologies. Then we designed and developed a system to address the problems that are there for the manual inventory management systems, and we did, we were able to overcome all those problems. And they designed separate databases, and finally they connected all of them, and then the system should give reports on daily basis, monthly and annual reports. And then this creating the mobile application is something that I told you that we are still doing it, and we are towards the end of finalizing it. And of course anyone can develop a system and coming here and telling that okay, my system is the best in the world, but we have to have a way of proving it now. So we decided to do an evaluation for the proposed system via module testing and feedback analysis. That's where I use my knowledge as a statistician for this part, right? The development part was completely done by my students. So our approach was, in our system we have two main users in a system like that, employee and an admin. And the customer details, the employee details, the stock details, order details, admin details are the inputs to our system. So the output would be the notifications time to time, and the report generation part, and the price details and that. And inside that, we summarize all these details, and finally we generate reports on daily basis, monthly and annually. And these are the technologies that my students have decided to use: the PHP, Bootstrap, Java, MySQL, Android, and well, those are the trendy technologies these days that they use for most of the things. So, okay, this is the design. So we have the top level architecture. We have designed all those diagrams, because before you develop a system, you have to get these diagrams correct, right? And then it takes months actually to finalize this. This system, it took 1 year from their studies to develop this system as a part of their second year project. You can understand something better from here. We have three main parts in our top level architecture. This UI stands for the user interface. This is where the two types of users, as I mentioned to you before, the employees and the admin, get involved here. And the web server has two parts, the security part and the request. So the users can send the requests, and those requests are handled by the web server. Not only that, the users are to be authenticated, right? That security system is there in the web server, and all the data is stored in the database. So we have three major parts in our top level architecture. So this was the main concept behind our system. And this is how we implemented it. We gathered requirements from the clients. Of course, we had to speak to the clients, and then to understand their problems, the practical problems, and their requirements. So we spent about 1 month gathering the requirements before we develop our own system. And as I mentioned to you before, we search for similar systems, right, to understand the drawbacks, the good side of it, the bad side of it, everything. And we drew system diagrams. Then we used these particular technologies in developing the interfaces for the web application. Then we created the database using localhost, and finally we developed the Android application also, but we have not included that one in the paper because that was done very recently. This is what I told you. We evaluated our system via module testing and user feedback analysis. This is where I use my knowledge as a statistician. So because before we say that my system is much better than those 8 existing systems, so you have to have reasonable background in telling that. So we did a module testing for different test cases, have been tested under each module. So we have a scenario test step and expected result and the actual outcome. This took some time to get it done, and then these type of systems are used by general public, right? So we had some time, but I wish that I had more time. And we developed a questionnaire, we designed a questionnaire, right? And we let these users, individual users, to use our system, right? We give them a system in a computer like that, and we ask them to sit somewhere and use the system. And after using the system, to fill the questionnaire, to see their satisfaction, right? And so we use the 5-level Likert scale from 1 to 5, where 5 stands for the best satisfaction, where 1 stands for the lowest satisfaction. As she also had done something like that. And we had 10 different aspects. For an example, the user friendliness, the accuracy, things like that. We had 10 different aspects that we considered. And this is what I told you, it would have been really better if we could circulate this one to many users, but depending on the time limitations, I could only circulate this one among 46 users. And these were the 10 evaluation aspects I told you. See, whatever the system you develop, it has to be user-friendly, right? That's something that everyone seeks these days, right? So user-friendliness and the concept behind this type of application, reliability, whether it has satisfied the client needs, the accuracy level, and the business model that we have used, and the responding speed. When it comes to a computerized system, people always, think about the speed of the output. Okay, after circulating the questionnaire among 46 users, so they spent some time playing with the system, and then the questionnaire was given, they filled the questionnaire, then I gathered all the information, and this is what I told you, this the least one is the very poor one, and the highest one is the very good one, for these 10 different aspects. You can get a better understanding if I show you the graphical illustration of that. These are the 10 aspects that you see in the horizontal axis. This is the Likert scale. 5 is for the very good and 1 is for the very poor, the lowest satisfaction. So you can see that. So this gives us a lesson that, okay, still our system can be improved, so you can see these are the average ratings for each evaluation aspect. You can see the average rating. So most of the averages lie between 3 and 4. So 3 is for the satisfactory and 4 stands for good, right? So we are still in the process of improving this, and we want to come to this region if possible, so that we can find a buyer and then we can sell the product. Okay? Yeah, my students do like that actually. They are in the field of information technology and management. So their degrees, like they do 50% of the credits in the field of IT and 60% of the credits in the field of IT and 40% credits in the field of management, right? So yeah. Okay, in conclusion, we could keep all the information confidential and more secure because of the security system that we have in the web server, and we believe that we developed an appropriate system to address the existing problems, the practical problems, and we could connect all the databases properly, and it gives us the reports on daily basis, monthly basis, and per annum. And this last part we did it, though I have not included that one in the paper, and we have a one limitation, as you can understand. The entire system can be used for a person who is okay with English, and my mother tongue is Sinhala. So, and we have Tamils and Muslims also living in our country as minority group. So this is a limitation. I don't want to hide that. That's why I'm showing it to you like this. So we think of at least like to go in the bilingual support, like to implement this one, so that more people will use our system. Yeah. So further work is that. So I have included that as the further work, and of course I have put the mobile application as the further work, but it's almost done. Right? We might come up with another paper for that mobile application, which is more interesting than the web application. Finally, we did a comparison. The last column is our system, and these are the 8 systems that I was talking to you before. And so the last column, we were able to make sure that our system includes all those 5 basic characteristics that I was talking at the very beginning. So that's why I'm telling our system is better than these 8, but not the best in the world. Still, it needs to be improved. Right, that I don't want to hide. Because from the user satisfaction, like, yes, they gave us the message that you can still improve. So we decided to go ahead with it. My students prepared a simple demonstration, just 3 minutes. I hope that you can bear up with me to play with that so that you can get a better understanding. And why is there a problem?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was association.
Here we start our demonstration. Our project is inventory management system. Now I am logging as employee. This is the dashboard of employee. Here we can edit the profile of employee. Then we click on the order. We can see the order list. So we can create the order from the add button. Now you can see that one. Click on the delete button to delete the order. After that, sales entry is displayed in the screen. When the sales of the product reach the reorder level, there will be a notification generated by the system in admin panel. After that, log out from the employee panel. Now I am logging as an admin. This is the dashboard for admin panel. It also has profile edit. Now entering to the user module. It has user adding session. We can add in the user from this. We can update the user details from the update button. Click on the delete button to delete the user. Here we can see the category list. Press on the add button to add the new category. Here also update and delete facilities are available. Now you can see the brand list. Then click on the add button to create new brand. Now product module. Press on the add button to create new product. Here you can see that one. And this module has view, update, delete session. Now we are entering to the notification part of admin panel. You can see the notifications that I mentioned before. Then log out from the system. Finish. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
I'm
Very
done. Yeah.
impressive.